All right, it started. All right. Pause recording. I can go whenever.
Well. Welcome everyone back to the Stay Hot podcast. I'm joined by my co-host Jack. Oh, so 3 and out, right?
Yeah.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Well. Welcome back to the 3 and Out podcast. I'm joined by my co-hosts Jack and Tyson.
Hey, what's
What's
up?
up, guys? All right. So today is Super Bowl Sunday, and yeah, we got a lot to kick into today. We got NBA trades, review of the AFC and NFC championship games, and then get into our Super Bowl predictions.
We definitely have a jam-packed episode for today. First thing we're going to start with before we get to all the NFL and important stuff is the NBA trades. NBA trade deadline was this past Thursday. There was actually a number of pretty blockbuster trades. I thought it was going to be a pretty quiet deadline, but things changed that, mainly the Harden trade, which we can get into. Ben Simmons is now in net. James Harden is the Sixer. Yeah, a lot of cover on that. Blake, what do you think about that trade first? I'll let you go first.
Yeah, so Seth so let me get this right. So Seth Curry,
Yeah.
so Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, Ben Simmons, 2 first-round picks, all traded for James Harden and Paul Millsap.
Yeah, and then a second round pick.
So yeah, and I think it really just benefits both sides. I mean, Ben Simmons and James Harden were really both wanting to leave teams, and they've been very dissatisfied on their teams. So it's kind of just a case of like the owners kind of had to make this trade at some point because both players were honestly not wanting to be on those teams, and that's never a good sign for future success.
Yeah, I mean, like Ben Simmons is basically useless for the Summer. He's not playing games. He's never going to play again as a Sixer. This move was long overdue. I literally think this is the max they could have gotten. I mean, some of the other deals that they were looking at from like last year when Ben Simmons' value was a lot higher was like Kyle Lowry, like stuff like that, like DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah.
Just offers that aren't that valuable and pieces that aren't going to help you as a title contender. So getting James Harden, I know he's expiring contract. We actually just opted into his player option after getting traded. So, I mean, getting James Harden out of basically nothing is amazing. That's a pretty good move for them. But it's also a great move for the Nets too. James Harden wanted to leave and he was an expiring contract and he would have left probably. And you get, a big shooter, a good shooter in Seth Curry, a less ball dominant guy in Ben Simmons,
Yeah, and Ben Simmons isn't like a terrible player. He's got a lot of potential in him. He just, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how he plays after not playing for so long.
Yeah, with KD and Kyrie, and you got all those other weapons on the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, that I think really sets up for the Brooklyn Nets. Like just having just a dominant rebounder with Drummond, and then you got Ben Simmons, who if I assume they're just gonna have him play power forward, and then have Kyrie like that. That's a scary team, and they added another shooter like who doesn't need the ball, which is a lot better than having James Harden. Like just for that team, especially like this like the Nets kind of killed this trade. I mean, like James Harden, Paul Millsap, pretty good players, but Paul Millsap's like freaking like 4 years old.
Yeah.
And James Harden, he's good, but like he kind of like eats your whole team away. Like he is your team, so like I feel like they can work with it. But like him and Joel Embiid is gonna be interesting because they're both guys who are pretty like dominant.
But it's honestly the opposite of the Ben Simmons critique because they've been so because Ben Simmons was so unball dominant for being almost like a ball carrier that like it hurt them so much, and I don't know, it'll be interesting to see.
But Paul Millsap is a nice piece because they have Embiid, who is a big who can shoot, like you can afford to have a kind of smaller guy in Paul Millsap who just kind of gets you those hustle points and rebounds, like because Paul Millsap doesn't fit too well in today's NBA. He's more like
76ers always get like some random 40-year-old. Like last year they had Howard, this year they have Drummond, now that's
and
Millsap.
Theo or Tobias Harris.
Yeah, Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris is still pretty good, but yeah, that's gonna be
pretty good. But like he was kind of falling into the rafters, and then he came there and he's been balling out again. Or maybe not falling out, just like no one was really.
Yeah, he wasn't doing as good, but yeah. So that Sixers team is definitely gonna be nice. I think these teams have definitely elevated a lot as a
Yeah.
result of this trade. I
They both
mean,
got better.
the East is heating up with this. You look at Heat, the Bulls
Mhm.
and the Bucks, obviously, and then the 76ers and Nets. And then there's another of other teams that can contend as well. I don't know. It's a very interesting trade.
Tyson
And
and Blake being. Oh wait, sorry. As Mavericks fans, how y'all feel about the Mavericks trade though?
yeah, that's the next trade. Okay.
Mm.
Porzingis. That was
So
probably the most lopsided deal other than like the Halliburton trade of the trade deadline. Porzingis for Dinwiddie and Bertans. What are we doing?
yeah.
What
just-
are we doing? You're giving away like Porzingis, right? Who's a pretty good player, averaging like 20 and 10 this year. I get it. He folds in the playoffs. He's not that physical, I get it. But 20 and 10, very good and skilled and high potential offensive player. You're giving up that for Dinwiddie, who hasn't really done much this year, hasn't been that good in around 3 years. He's averaging like 13 and 4 on like 45% shooting this year. With a huge contract comparable to Porzingis' contract.
And he
And-
doesn't spread the floor at all either.
Yeah. He's just Jalen Brunson basically.
You're
But
trading away, just a bigger athletic Jalen Brunson.
and 20 million
Basically
more.
like a Luca, like a worse Luca. Like the way they play, just
Yeah. He's 20 million more expensive. And then you have Davis Bertans, who averaging 5 points and 5 rebounds this year, and he's getting paid 18 million for the next 5 years per year. Like
and
what?
the Mavericks like actively got worse in spacing.
Yeah, everything got worse.
Like they were. I think they were just giving up. Like that. That's a sign that they were like, we can't do anything this year.
Yeah,
But then I don't know how this helped them in the future either. But
I think it's this Porzingis. I get he's been injury plagued for this year and it's basically his whole career. So they just wanted to get something out of it. They wanted to get rid of him eventually, which I get. I think they could have gotten a better deal at some point. I'm betting if they call the Pacers about Halliburton or the Hornets about Miles Bridges or the Pacers about Domantas Sabonis and then the Kings about Halliburton. I bet they can get one of those guys for Porzingis.
Yeah, someone just more valuable because it feels like Kristaps Porzingis with how he's been playing recently would be a lot more valuable than just those two.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Especially the contracts that they have. Like you think that like a lot of it would be try and relieve contract tension to try and get maybe a better guy in this free agency this year, but
They got worse. They got way worse.
Yeah, they got worse.
Yeah, it's weird.
I think really it might just be like a coaching issue. Like Carlisle just doesn't know what to do with Porzingis because I feel like Porzingis can be super dangerous with like if someone finds the right role for him.
Yeah, because Jason Kidd has made Porzingis better.
Oh, I mean Kidd, yeah, my bad.
Yeah, Jason Kidd has been better.
Forgot about that.
He's been better this year, getting Porzingis more elevated. I don't think Carlisle fit Porzingis, but I still think he could have got more. I would even be mad if they kept him for another year or two, let his contract play out or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that, but like if this is the only trade they can do, then yeah, that definitely was a better option.
Yeah. But you're looking at what is it? I mean, now it's like if you're a free agent, right, and you're deciding on teams, Dallas as a spot as an organization isn't that attractive, as in comparisons like a Laker or like not a Celtic, like a Net or a Sixer, Those options are way more attractive. But now, like already it's not attractive as a spot in an organization. But now you're looking at instead of Luka and Porzingis, you're teaming up with Luka and Spencer Dinwiddie, like twice basically. Like Spencer Dinwiddie and Jalen Brunson, like the same player.
Yeah, Spencer Dinwiddie is like he's a throwback player, I swear.
Yeah, I mean they have no bigs worthwhile. Tim Hardaway's still on the team. I feel like you could have gotten Spencer Dinwiddie for Tim Hardaway, to be honest.
Yeah, like I think Tim Hardaway might be a better player, just like especially for this team, what they need than Spencer Dinwiddie. Like Spencer Dinwiddie's basically a point guard, also.
Yeah, he's just Jalen Brunson just duplicated.
And then you have Luka, who's also basically a point guard too. Like it's just too many ball handlers who can like only kind of shoot.
Yeah, exactly. And so
and don't really defense.
They did improve. Davis for Collins is, just a throwaway player, and they got way worse in cap. I don't get it. I think the only justification I can give is the Mavericks always get ridiculed for never making trades, never making moves, especially trade deadlines and drafts. And I think Mark Cuban just got like excited. Like I think he's just like, screw it, I got to do something.
Yeah.
Just switch it up. I don't know. I mean, I'd rather have that than nothing.
Mhm.
So I guess it's a trend in the right direction in the way that they're trading more and then we're open to switching it up. But
Yeah, but it wasn't really nothing. It was Kristaps Porzingis.
yeah, exactly.
Pick.
Yeah. But I mean, at least they're making moves now, I guess. At least they're trying.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Dallas doesn't try, so or like the Cowboys don't try, so it's at least nice to see one Dallas organization putting some effort in.
Yeah, after a long time of not. So now that's really the two biggest trades that we're going to talk about. I mean, you can dabble in, CJ McCollum was traded to the Pelicans. Blazers basically blowing it up, changed their entire roster this trade deadline.
I don't even know who's on the Pelicans anymore, man.
Yeah, they're a weird team. Definitely a weird team. But so yeah, Damian Lillard now left alone in Portland. I hope he leaves. He doesn't deserve that. I don't know if you guys saw the Damian Lillard quote where he's talking about like people like running from the grind. He's saying a lot of people like run from the grind, and then they ended up trading like the entire team for nothing. Like, I feel bad for him. I hope he gets out.
Also, can we talk about the Mavericks were like a 5th seed?
Yeah.
And they traded Porzingis. Like that's not. They weren't even like out of the playoffs or anything. Like they're doing pretty well. They almost have a better record than half the teams in the Eastern and Western Conference. Like they weren't even doing poorly.
Yeah, they're doing pretty good this year.
They're 35-24, which is pretty decent.
Yeah, Porzingis hasn't contributed that much to that because he's been injured, but I mean, Dinwiddie is injury prone too, and I wouldn't be surprised if he misses like a good amount of games too. It's kind of funny that the Mavericks are like 4 spots ahead of the Lakers, and the Lakers made no moves, which is weird.
It is interesting. I was thinking Lakers weren't gonna for sure at least make a like pretty strong push for like a Buddy Hield or a Seth Curry type player for spacing, but
yeah, they should trade Westbrook. I think they got a John Wall offer, but I mean, people are clowning the Lakers for declining John Wall for Russell Westbrook, but at this point, it's like, yeah, they're just the same player. They don't do much for spacing. They're both bad shooters.
Same player, and I think I'd rather like Russell just in like the playoffs, like just going on past this year, because he does kind of sometimes show something else at the like later path, like half of the year.
Yeah.
And, like you need like a hustle guy like that because like Lakers don't have too many gritty players.
Yeah, they're old.
Yeah. But yeah, also just this NBA standings are just weird in general. Like it's kind of like a flip in the NBA. Like Suns are on top again. Warriors are back.
Yeah, this is definitely a cool year in the NBA. Not for Lakers fans, we're Knicks fans, but
not for like the normal like big teams.
Yeah, like Celtics doing poorly.
Yeah, the Heat are leading the Eastern Conference again.
Cavaliers.
Grizzlies are 3rd.
Cavs.
Western.
Cavaliers are heating up.
Oh yeah, I've seen so many memes about the Cavs and how they're doing better without Braun.
The Cavs are the 3rd seed right now. I forgot to mention them earlier when I said the Sixers, Heat, Bulls, and Nets. But yeah, they're literally, I mean, they're the 3rd and the Nets are the 8th. Like they're doing amazing right now.
Yeah, I've seen so many memes where like the LeBron realizing that the Cavs are building a better team but around Darius Garland than around LeBron.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know what happened. I think they just kind of got lucky with trades and drafting. That Jared Allen trade was pretty good, and they drafted some talented players.
Also, what's going on with the Hawks? I was like really expecting them to make a huge jump after how deep they went in the playoffs last year, and their team is all basically like have only been in the league for like 3 years, but they're kind of
it's just
again they're playing worse than last year.
They don't really
not what you'd expect for that young of a team.
They don't really have much star power around Trae Young. That was a thing, and so if Trae Young's not got the team on his back, they don't have a lot of.
Yeah,
it looked like what's his name? It looked like Cam Reddish, like how he was playing in the playoffs, was about to making like the next step. And
Ooh,
John
Is,
Collins.
Ca- is
Cam
Cam
Reddish-
Reddish on the team anymore?
Yeah, they shipped him to the Knicks.
Oh, what?
Oh, you hear about that? Yeah, that was a little before the trade deadline. That
Yeah.
also happened. They shipped him to the Knicks for basically like not much. Kevin
Yes.
Knox, I'm pretty sure it was. He's probably not gonna play. Yeah, the thing is with the Hawks, John Collins has missed some games with injury. The thing is with the Hawks is that they do have like a lot of like good role players, and then Trae Young, and that's why they made it. But the reason they made it so far last year is because those good role players played at the best of their potential. Like they
Mhm.
all played the best
Yeah.
basketball they ever have, and then Trae Young also played really good. And that's not really sustainable, having to
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
trusting a bunch of role players to do like to keep playing amazing. And then Trae Young hasn't played bad this year by any means, but Trae Young, expecting him to do what he was doing in the playoffs every game for 82
Yeah.
games,
And
then
like
also
he
in the playoffs.
needs like you need at least a sort of secondary ball handler. Like he
Yeah.
can't create every single play for them. Like I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, and
They
that Cam Reddish move was weird too.
yeah, they've got a lot of nice pieces, but they need like one more like centerpiece.
Yeah, they need a second star for sure. They're basically in the same position as the Mavericks now. Mavericks are actually in a pretty good position with Porzingis, but yeah, Mavericks doing a little better this year, obviously in the West.
Yeah.
All right, so y'all ready to jump into NFL for this week?
No.
All right, so last weekend we saw the Bengals face off against the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. So pretty much just to recap us, I think the game ended up what was the final score of that game? Sorry, one second.
It was 27-24.
27-24. Okay, so and that's crazy because the Chiefs started off with a 21-3 lead in the first half,
Mhm.
and I think a lot of the credit has been given to Joe Burrow, but I think like the underrated factor in that game was the defense of that game and what they did to that Chiefs offense in the second half. And that I don't know. I remember watching the game, and the game kind of shifted right. If y'all remember, right before the halftime
Yeah, right
point.
before halftime that Eli.
Right before halftime, the Chiefs were, I think, on the 3 to 4 yard line with like 5 seconds left, and the Bengals forced Patrick Mahomes to make a bad pass, like a 1 yard pass, and tackled him, and
Yeah,
with
they
no
got
timeouts, the game was
ahead.
over, or half
Like,
was over.
He wasn't playing like he was Patrick Mahomes in that second half. Like, and it
Yeah.
wasn't just because like he was playing bad. Like they were on him.
And it wasn't just him. There was some pretty bad drops too. I think there was a Travis Kelce like third down drop, and there's a couple receiver drops that were on third and fourth downs that were really crucial.
Also, Joe Mixon had like almost 140 like total yards that game, and
Yeah.
Samaje Perine broke out. Like,
Oh yeah, that he was.
nobody had a touchdown, like a 40-yard touchdown or something.
Yeah, he was the first
Really?
touchdown of the game. He had a turnaround.
Yeah,
He
that was pretty big for them. Like that's not a point that I feel like they planned for.
And T. Higgins, this playoff run has just
Yeah.
bursted onto the scene and gone insane.
T. Higgins is like kind of for me putting the Bengals like making them scary against the
Against
Rams
DB.
playoffs.
Yeah.
You got to worry about like Jamar Chase getting shut down by Jalen Ramsey, which is always a possibility, but like having him to take the middle of the field is scary.
Yeah, and then you also have Tyler Boyd sitting there too.
Yeah, they've got a really cool, and then CJ Uzoma has been awesome too. He hasn't
They've
been
got a
bad at
lot of
all.
weapons like who can break out.
Yeah,
Like, at any time. They're
Yeah.
not necessarily consistent, but like they've got a lot of potential.
yeah, and people did. It's kind of weird how Joe Burrow. I guess just he's charismatic and he won a big
Mhm.
game when he wasn't supposed to. But it's weird how he got so much focus and attention from that game when he didn't have like a particularly like incredible
Amazing game.
performance. Yeah, I mean he did good. He did really good, but a lot of it was just checkdowns and playing smart. It
Yeah.
wasn't anything like
Yeah.
incredible.
He also did take 7 sacks again after
Yeah,
taking 9.
yeah,
So like he's got to get the ball out of his hands.
yeah. And he does have one of the historically worst O lines ever, but
Mhm. Yeah.
he definitely.
Like even you don't see even like Tom Brady, who's not very athletic, just like Joe, like taking
Yeah,
all the
exactly.
sacks. Like part of it's on him. Like
Yeah,
not the pressure. Like it's not like he's gonna make a play on those plays, but you can't take another 7 sacks in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I mean, the Bengals D line has looked really good too with Trey Hendrickson and Sam Hubbard. I remember There's a
Yeah.
big 3rd and goal where like Patrick Mahomes had like literally like 20 seconds to throw the
Oh,
ball.
is this one of the last drives? Yeah.
Yeah, and I know they still got a field goal out of it, but they're on like the 8 or 9
Yeah.
yard line, and Patrick Mahomes had like 30 seconds. You think like, oh, that's a touchdown if you give
Yeah.
him that much time.
People were debating on whether the Bengals should let them score.
Yeah,
Because like it was Patrick Mahomes at like the 4-yard line with like
That's-
2 timeouts and it's 1st and goal. Like he's
Yeah,
gonna score, right? And then
This
you know-
Bengals secondary has been ridiculous. Like, no
Sam
one,
Ho-
no one, like last year, none of these secondary players would have I picked to like
Mhm.
play even above average this year, and they have
Yeah,
put on quite the show. Like, they whoever I
Yeah,
don't
pretty
I don't
good.
really know much about their coaching staff, but it seems like their secondary like has it all down. Like they're always prepared.
I don't like the Bengals coaching staff. They're kind of overrated.
I don't like
They're not even rated at this point.
Yeah,
mean, I don't
Yeah,
know
I
how
don't
they
really-
made it this far with like
me either. Just Joe Burrow is a winner. That's all I can say. Like he doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily play out of his mind, but he just kind of gets it done for some reason.
yeah.
yeah. I mean, the star power on like his offense is like it's like matches like the Rams or like on offense
It really
for
does.
like offensive weapons.
Yeah, they're
Rams don't have a great O line either.
Mhm.
yeah. I think the Rams and I think the Rams or the Bengals is like a kind of like discount Rams. Not like the super discounted, but kind of discounted.
Yeah.
They both have like a pretty good receiving cores with like, borderline top 10 quarterbacks area,
Mhm.
solid run games, and then like pretty good defenses. I think the Rams is better than Bengals, but the Rams defense is better than Bengals defense.
Are y'all ready to move on to the 49ers game?
Yeah, I know you are.
Yeah, well, maybe
Well,
not.
actually,
Maybe
I know
I'm
you
not.
are. Maybe you are.
Oh no. Yeah, it was a tough game, but I think everyone's been shocked how far the 49ers have made it this year anyways. So
Yeah,
it was a pretty good season for what like we had going for us, and I think we definitely need to look at Trey Lance's future or maybe someone else's depending. We need to find someone's future.
yeah, I know.
quarterback.
Yeah,
Like talent wise, like y'all have so many just insanely great players. You're just missing that one key spot at quarterback.
Yeah, and I've loved how like I know like a lot of people have been kind of like this year we're very criticism of like the coaching staff of like Kyle Shanahan and everyone, but I think the coaching staff has been amazing at developing like defensive talents and offensive talents that are kind of like I don't know. But in that game we kind of just got like manhandled on every single front. I mean, like we weren't able. One of our main things going into that game was rushing. Everyone knew that we like had been able to rush on the Rams like crazy, and that's been the difference maker. And I think it was what 50 to 70 yards total, which was like
Yeah.
literally nothing for us. And I think that was the big difference. In the
yeah.
game.
Leading rusher for the 49ers was Deebo Samuel with 26 yards.
Debo, Sam, and like those were not an easy
Mm-hmm.
26 yards. Like he
Yeah.
probably broke 5 to 6 tackles to get those 26.
They averaged 2.5 yards per carry. They had 50 total yards.
Yeah. I feel like the majority of y'all's yards were like on screen passes.
Yeah, and I think that was. I think if we're able to run on them, then I think that makes the total difference in the game. But since we weren't, I think that's pretty much because I remember watching the Rams run the football and it looked better than when we were running the football, which no one thought would be going into the game. But I guess the new the comeback of Cam Akers has made a big difference for the Rams.
Yeah, that provides more. That's always a good thing to have that guy back. Yeah, I mean, 49ers up 17-7 with 13 minutes left in the game, and they blow it.
I really, you say you all got manhandled. Watching that, I felt like 49ers kind of should have won that game, but they just didn't like. They just kind of choked in a couple different places, and then they just were like, "Oh."
I think there are a lot of places they choked. I mean, it was like third down. I think we were like 3 for 11, which is pitiful. That's terrible. It's
awful.
Yeah, just in the big moments, it just seemed like y'all couldn't get it to work for you. But like,
yeah, and we didn't get any sacks. Like there's the 49ers.
a lot of pressure. Or like a lot of pressure. Not like Stafford really handled it well. Like
yeah, not enough.
He was kind of he knew where to get the ball off, which was really impressive. Like he kind of looked like a little bit of Tom Brady there, just getting the ball out.
dishing everything out, and just the offensive game plan was amazing. Where he always had like a check down or someone to
He
throw
knew
to.
where to go. Yeah, that was also kind of a masterpiece by Sean McVay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
Sean McVay coaching
Yeah.
won that game. I mean, down 17-7 with 13 minutes left.
Yeah.
That's a
yeah, and-
coaching.
It didn't even seem like in that once the Rams started going and feeling themselves, like it kind of felt like the 49ers after that, like they got on a roll after that Cooper Kupp touchdown.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I snuck it in there. After that, it just seemed like Stafford was just kind of picking a place to throw, and then he had it and then they kept rolling.
Yeah, I think it's crazy that we were still like in that game though. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the Rams pass rush was eating like the 49ers O-line alive all game. And we saw like that's like it affected Jimmy G like crazy because Jimmy G has never been able to deal well with pressure. It's always
Yeah.
been like his big, but we've usually had like a good enough O-line where it didn't matter. We're like,
Yeah.
or it didn't
Yeah.
matter to a point.
Also, it's kind of weird though that Jimmy G had 316 passing yards.
Yeah, I was literally about to say it sucks that Jimmy G always posts like pretty decent stats in
But-
these games where people are sure that he sucks because then it's like the basic fan, or like I don't know,
Yeah.
49ers owners are like, oh well, 300
But-
yards, 2 passing touchdowns.
Yeah.
No, he had 2 interceptions actually, and 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
So that part wasn't quite as good. But
I thought he
like,
only had 1 pick.
that's a lot of yards.
Yeah,
That's a
but it was
big-
also
to not-
they just had to pass the ball first because they could not run the football against the Rams. And you don't like anytime Jimmy G is like throwing that much, like it's a terrible situation for the 49ers offense.
Yeah,
I
and-
honestly think sorry, you guys have some.
Oh, I was just gonna say, it's not about like his stats. He's able to make the easy throws and but like the 49ers have like one of the most perfect systems in the
Yeah.
league. Like any quarterback is gonna make those throws and put up at least 200 yards and like a touchdown a game.
Yeah.
The problem was, like you said, third down. 3 for 11. He couldn't get any big plays. He couldn't push the ball fast when they needed it. He couldn't get any.
Yeah.
There was so many times where there was like either like a man open or something, and he just threw straight to like double coverage on like a stop route on like
Yeah.
third
Yeah.
or fourth down, and it's
The
like, what are you
opportunity-
doing?
The opportunities to win that game for the 49ers were like for sure there. Like they put in the work to win that game, but then it just like each time there was something went wrong. That in the end, that big dropped pick at the
Oh.
end, they were just it was like they were in their own head. And
Yeah,
like if you watch Garoppolo, he had people to throw to almost every time. And even when he had guys open, like he didn't put it on them, like right on them.
yeah.
Was hurting their run after catch. Like Jimmy Garoppolo is not it. He's not. But that's not
yeah.
a hot take.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's gonna disagree with that. And then talking about the Rams are like probably like arguably the most talented team in the league with like star power and
Yeah.
everything this year. But the past 2 games, honestly, they haven't looked amazing. They really have. They really have like given teams a chance to beat them. That in games where they almost shouldn't have at all.
Yeah, if they have like any other coach, they're losing both those games. Like they're not making it to the NFC Championship.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something about this team that just like I know they're good, but it just feels like they're missing that like
Chemistry, maybe.
togetherness. Like
Yeah, chemistry.
Yeah,
That's
don't-
exactly what I was gonna
yeah,
say.
they don't. Yeah, they don't seem like a Patriots team that's like they're playing off of each other. It just like seems like they're all good players and they go out there and play, and what happens.
Yeah, but it's historic though
It
because
works because they're good.
yeah, it's weird because it's like you wouldn't expect a team to make it to the Super Bowl like that. You're expecting them to get bounced. in the
Yeah.
final. That's like the Packers. You're expecting them to get bounced in the divisional or the conference championship.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to see like all these players that are like they all come from like OBJ, Matthew Stafford. They all come from like a team that like hasn't been good. Von Miller. They're all coming from
Ramsey.
situation. Yeah, they all
Yeah.
come from a team that haven't been good. That they've been kind of just like the best player on, and now they put them all on the same team, and it's cool to see them all.
Yeah.
It's like an all-star team almost. It's like
Yeah, I mean, you take
It's
this
like
team
the-
from like 2-3 years ago, and you're looking on like an all-pro roster basically.
Mhm.
Like,
What the Rams are is like it's like the Suicide Squad. Like they just
Yeah.
picked up like all these like star players that
Mercenaries.
kind of had some like issues or like weren't doing well or like their team wasn't going good for whatever reason, and they were just like no one else really wanted to pick him up because it was a little bit scary. And then the Rams were like, you know what? You know how good this guy is. I don't care.
Eric
Yeah.
Weddle, he was on the
Yeah,
couch,
made it work.
He came back. Yeah, that's funny. That hurts
and now he's
a bit.
guarding Jamar Chase. Not really.
Yeah. I will say he has been getting I don't know if you all been watching, but Eric Weddle has been a weakness on their team.
Yeah,
I think-
no,
I-
yeah.
he's definitely hasn't been playing amazing.
He has not he's kind of blown some coverage sometimes. He has not
Yeah,
been
Yeah,
amazing.
but he's also filling in for an injured guy anyway. So
yeah, and
it's not
I mean,
like-
he's done better than
Yeah.
what you expect from
He's
a
done
37-year-old.
okay,
man.
like a serviceable job against the run, but like a 5'8", like I don't even know how old white guy isn't gonna be able to keep up.
Yeah, he was retired. Like he was on a coaching
yeah, he was.
Yeah,
his son's football team. I mean,
like his problem already was speed, and add 10 years to that, and
yeah. So I mean, I would wrap up those games. Now we can talk about the biggest game of them all,
Money game.
the Super Bowl. Actually, I don't think you're allowed to say that. The big game. It's
The big
copyrighted.
game.
You ever see that? The NFL is super hard on copyrights for the Super Bowl. So like brands refer to it as like the big game. Like they'll be like, go buy food for the big game.
Really?
They don't have to like pay like the NFL like $1 million to use it. Just
Well,
something interesting. Anyways, no. Anyways, yeah, the big game is today. Rams, Bengals. We're gonna start off with our predictions. We'll start with Jack. Jack, who do you have winning this game and why?
I got the Bengals winning it simply because I just feel like Joe Burrow can find the openings in that Rams secondary, especially just because of Tyler Boyd. So I got them.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, any score predictions? The line is
Predictions.
Rams 4.5 is the line.
These are always. I'm gonna give it 31-28.
Ooh,
31-28. 31 points on the Rams defense. That'd be something. That'd be Joe Burrow would be God.
Hey, 49ers put up 27. I think they can do it.
Yeah.
But
Right.
then with the coaching mismatch, I don't know. We'll see how that take holds up. But
Yeah. All right. My turn. So we already heard Jack's prediction earlier for the team. Blake's is a big reveal. So I'll start with mine. I have the Rams winning this game. I think Matthew Stafford, he's a veteran quarterback and he's facing a 2-year quarterback. This Bengals defense, they're kind of some guys that it's kind of like the Hawks last year, where it's role players that have just played incredible, like Eli Apple. Not just Trey. Yeah, true. Yeah, Trey Hendrickson and Jesse Bates are amazing, but there's some players in that defense that I don't expect to keep playing consistently amazing, especially against an offense as high powered as the Rams. You have the statistically most talented receiver in the NFL this year, Odell Beckham. Matthew Stafford throwing to these guys, Van Jefferson, a huge deep threat, and then a really underrated 3-headed monster of that run game. So I think Matthew Stafford is not going to back down. And I think the Rams defense, again, it's just experience, Aaron Donald and Von Miller, both having played in Super Bowls before. And Jalen Ramsey, who's played in some big games. I think they're all going to shine. I got the Rams winning. I'm going to go with 27-14.
Oh, also another thing I kind of have to add is the Rams have had a lot of problems blocking good defensive tackles, and DJ Reader is definitely a good defensive tackle. If you watch that Titans game, and I can't remember who else it was, but they get eaten alive if you've got a good inside pass rush. So, to watch.
Actually, I'll go 27-20 because I think McPherson will get two more field goals. Yeah, he's a goat. So.
Shooter McPherson.
All right, now we have the big reveal. Blake.
All right, so it's really hard to make a decision.
Wait, start with your your reasoning and your explanation.
Yeah, I'll definitely.
And
I got you. Yeah, so I mean, I think the Rams star power is unmatched this year, and the talent is crazy. I think the receiving core on both ends is probably the best in the league that there is. Defensive wise, the Bengals have been really playing amazing on defense, and I think the Rams pass rush recently has been playing amazing, but not so much their DBs.
Mhm.
And Jalen Ramsey, honestly, to me, hasn't been looking amazing. He got beat Devo Samuel the game before, big touchdown pass to Mike Evans.
Huge touchdown pass up to Mike Evans. That was kind of
Yeah,
like
it was
that,
like
that was bad for like a normal corner.
Fluke.
He was he had one-on-one coverage.
He got
It looked like
lucky.
he didn't
Like
care. It looked
got-
like
he got
looked like
lucky.
Jalen Ramsey didn't care.
Ramsey
Honestly.
was tired. He got lucky.
Literally, that was the
was
one
injured
thing.
also.
All he had to do was just like stay back, and he fell for like this little.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
McVay's fault. That was McVay's
Yeah.
fault and Stafford's fault.
I think the Bengals defense to me has been playing amazing. I love Sam Hubbard and Trey Henderson. I love the defensive end combos, and I think the Bengals have a better run game, but I'm still gonna give it to the Rams in
Ooh.
31. Let's go 31-24 is my final prediction for the score. I think
31-24.
saying the Rams are gonna win because they definitely do
Yeah.
have just like more good players.
I think Cup has 2 touchdowns. I think he at least has 120 yards. I don't think that's even like that hard of a take, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, because it's Zach Taylor. Like no
Mhm.
coach has been able to stop Cup this year, essentially. And then you have like Zach Taylor trying to scheme against him.
Yeah, but you're forgetting about Cowboys' third string cornerback, Chidobe Awuzie.
Oh yeah, that's true actually.
So I mean, you gotta think about that.
Yeah, I mean,
How's he gonna fare?
Cup is shaking his boots.
And who is it? Like Mike Hilton in the slot.
Yeah, they do it. Yeah. So
So
yeah, a couple have a great game.
yeah, he
Hey,
will.
so 3 and Out podcasts overall democratically is the Rams winning this game.
Yep.
I mean, so at least one of us has got to be right?
yeah. So we.
I mean, yeah, I think we've I think got 100% chance to call the game right. So
I think I want the Bengals to win, but I gotta go with the Rams. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
like Joe Burrow is it's so cool to like watch Joe Burrow, and the hype around him in the Bengals is so fun, and the
Yeah.
energy is so fun. But I gotta stick with that pick. I think me and Tyson both have had the Rams for like a while too. So
Yeah,
it's like,
I was about to talk about that. Last year I had the Bucks about midway through the season when they were doing bad. I said they were going to win the Super Bowl. I originally had them going against the Ravens. I think that was my pick, Bucks Ravens, but ended up being Bucks. But I was right at the Bucks through the playoffs. I was big on Bucks. And this year at the beginning of the year, I did Rams Bills, and I've been right at the Rams all year. And so, I think I could predict it twice in a row for the NFC champion to win it. And so I think the Rams, that's my team.
yeah. I
Von
mean,
Miller.
I hope so. I don't know.
Von Miller, Broncos legend. He'll get his
Yeah,
second
since
ring.
he's gonna have to have like a real good start because they're so young and they've almost had everything go right this whole year. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's
their
basically,
chemistry is built off that. So like, it's got to start.
Mhm.
It's got to start early.
I mean, you compare the Hawks last year to this Bengals team. It's actually a lot of similarities.
That's a nice fit, honestly. Like
It's
that's
just, yeah.
that's some top tier analyzing, Tyson.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, but this time the Bengals overcame, the best player in the league, Patrick Mahomes, whereas the Hawks did not overcome Giannis, who went on a win.
Dude, it goes down to the roots.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. It's gonna be a great game. We can cover some other things. I just tabbed out and the recording didn't stop, by the way, so that's pretty huge.
Also, I think Joe Mixon's the most talented running back in the league. Not the best, but he can do it all.
That's a pretty good take.
But he also went to OU, so it's a little unfair.
We can talk about some of the betting lines. Hold on, I can't pull them up. Are you guys gonna make any bets in this game?
Or like
no.
predictions for betting lines, or like
Yeah, either or.
Yeah, I mean, I think Rams cover whatever. I don't
Yeah,
think Bengals. My score prediction is 7 to I think it's at least a 7-point win for Rams, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I do too. I think the Gatorade color will be white.
I forget about that. You think it'll be white?
Yeah, I've tried to predict it every year.
What are
And
the odds? What are the odds this year for White? I
pretty
know
sure White's like a huge underdog, like 1100.
isn't Orange always like the biggest? Doesn't always have the best odds for Orange.
I think it's blue this year.
Really?
Wait.
Blue has. Oh, I guess they're at SoFi Stadium, so I guess I can see blue.
And,
being-
and blue was it last year? Oh, red is the favorite, and then orange, and then blue. But
Dude,
people are saying to bet blue because they was the
People are
last year.
sleeping on lemon lime, bro.
So
Bro.
there's been 2 home Super Bowls in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the weird part.
That's ridiculous.
There's never been any, and then now there's 2.
That
Have y'all-
is
Have y'all seen the meme? It's like with the NFL, we never thought that this would be a problem about having home Super Bowls back to back years. So like now we're gonna start having a Super Bowl every year at Cowboys Stadium.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
they need to watch next year. They're gonna like pick the the Browns just so like they make sure it's not gonna be the Super Bowl. There. Browns
And the
are gonna
Browns
be
are gonna
there.
win it. The Browns are gonna be in the Super Bowl.
Baker Mayfield's gonna turn it up. Yeah, the line is. This is the most important line. This is the only line we're covering because this is the only important one. Line is red 200, lime green / yellow 300, orange 325, blue 600, clear water 700, and purple 850.
Clear water.
Yeah, like just clear. I don't know what's water, but
I've
What if
never
they
heard
switch
of
it up
that.
and go like cucumbers? Like what if they like
the hell are you
Dude.
talking about?
Lemon pepino Gatorade. Hot take. That's a top 5.
I don't know.
Gatorade.
I want to know the odds if you take something like crazy. Like I want to know if you can like what like I don't know like
Last year was blue. Blue is actually kind of underrated. It hasn't been white in a long time since like 41.
Give me
Really?
your sugar-free.
Super Bowl 41 is the last white one. Blue, it's been every other year basically.
well it might already be sugar free check. I think
Give me the sugar-free lemon lime. That's that. I bet you that won me a couple of billion if that won.
Oh, this is the biggest upset. This is the biggest bad beat of all time. Super Bowl 51, Patriots gets their Gatorade color. None.
Uh,
It was none. Because they won in overtime and they just immediately rushed the field and have a chance to dump the Gatorade.
Wait, so what happened to everyone's like betting? Like what happened to the
Nothing.
betting?
Everyone lost.
No way.
Yeah, that's the worst beat ever. No one wins.
No, it wasn't even an option to pick none.
Yeah, I bet it was a fraud by a big gambler, all the casinos. I bet what happened is they ran out of money, so they just like convinced them to, not dump the Gatorade. That way they only can win.
Paid them off.
Yeah, they don't have to
The-
pay off anyone.
It's like the opposite of the Draymond Green thing when Clay Thompson came back for his game and
That
and
was
all the gamblers won like thousands of dollars off of betting like hundreds.
yeah, exactly. This is their like this is the when they're in debt. That's when they have too much money. So yeah, that's the big lines for the Super Bowl. A lot of legacies affected by this game. Like, I mean, this is like a big.
Oh my god.
Not as
yeah.
much for the Bengals. I think if the Bengals lose, it's like, it's like, wow. I mean, we didn't expect them to even make it to the wild card this year. So, this is like that's like a promise. I don't think they're mad, but if the Rams lose, that is kind of bad. Like I think literally the Rams with all this talent they've had and all these kind of expiring contracts and trades they move, this is like Super Bowl or bust, like win the Super Bowl or bust.
Honestly, like both these teams, like either way it goes, it's almost too perfect of a story. Like the Rams picking up all
Yeah.
these like kind of ragtag players who are really good, and then
Yeah.
the Bengals just like the young fun team with Joe Burrow, who everyone likes.
Yeah.
Either way, it's like
Yeah.
it's too perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't call those players ragtag. I don't know if that's
Not ragtag,
that's
but
the way
like-
I'd
No, because
describe.
This team wasn't a team like at the beginning of this year, is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like,
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I get what you're saying. It was just kind of a funny way to say it.
Yeah, the NFL,
yeah, OBJ and Von Miller are ragtag
just
guys. Like
losers.
they're low tier.
Yeah, the NFL script writers were on fire when they were writing the script for this year.
Especially for the playoffs. The whole playoffs have been amazing.
Seriously, yeah.
Yeah.
Besides the wild card round was pretty mid, but after that it's been like every game has been close. Every game has been almost into overtime. It's been
Yeah.
amazing.
I think they're showing their hand a little too much. Like,
Yeah, NFL scriptwriter was putting up Wilt Chamberlain numbers this year
guys, they
in the
need
studio.
they're gonna dial it back next year. I guarantee it. It's gonna be Tom Brady's. Tom Brady. We'll never hear another word from Tom Brady. He's just gonna be done.
It is a weird.
They're giving it up. Who's gonna win? Who would be like the least impressive team to win?
Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, it'll just be the Chiefs again, and they'll blow out some team by like 40
Mhm.
Super Bowl.
They're gonna blow out
Yeah.
like I don't know 49ers.
Yeah.
Screw
Jimmy
it
G.
again.
At
It's like
least-
Super Bowl rematch. Jimmy G goes again.
He said he'd be making the Super Bowl
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah, whatever, man. Kidding. But yeah. So I think if the Rams, I mean, they literally have like no draft picks for the next like 3 years because
Yeah,
they've
they-
traded like all of them in the Ramsey, Stafford, and even the Von Miller trade. So I don't know. It's kind of bad if the Rams do lose. I mean, they're not upset. They still can run it back next year with
Mhm.
basically the same core. But you know, this
Hopefully.
is this is
I
a
don't
big
trust the guy
chance.
with almost a 1-to-2 touchdown interception ratio who's won like 2 games his whole career in the Super Bowl. No offense to Matthew.
I trust him.
You trust Joe Burrow more in the Super Bowl that he's never.
Like you were saying this earlier. When's the last time Joe Burrow lost a Super Bowl?
I don't know, man.
When's the last time Joe Burrow lost a national championship game? Doesn't lose. This kid's insane.
Situation.
Matt
Oh, man,
Stafford's older.
I guess you're right.
Actually,
You use my own point against me. It's kind of.
Yeah, you got destroyed. Yeah, so that's just
like
that's the coverage of that's the predictions for the big game. Some other NFL news. NFL awards this weekend. Aaron Rodgers,
yeah.
MVP, 4-time. Future Denver Bronco.
Undeserved.
Yeah,
Denver Bronco.
literally, definitely a future Denver Bronco at this point. Do you
Yeah.
guys have any predictions about where Aaron Rodgers will end up or how this offseason play up, especially with Devontae Adams being a free agent? That's like pretty interesting.
Aaron Rodgers is. I don't know. Like
Honestly-
I can't even begin to say I know what that man's gonna do.
Honestly, I feel like he stays. I honestly just feel like he
No
stays.
way. There's no shot. There's just
He
no
doesn't-
shot. I think the Eagles have a higher chance. I think the Eagles have a higher betting odds of like being his team next year than the Packers, and I'm not even joking. Let me look it up.
The Eagles with Aaron Rodgers would be kind of scary.
Any team, basically. 49ers.
Oh my God, that would be his for like it. I would
Maybe
put
it'd be
money on
awesome.
that right now that they win the Super Bowl if Aaron Rodgers goes to the 49ers.
He went to Cal. He's a California boy. He wanted to be
Yeah.
drafted by the 49ers.
I mean, I'd love it, but I just don't see it happening.
But why not? It's really just like what he
I don't-
wants to do. If he wanted to go to the 49ers, he'd go to the 49ers, and that would be a Super Bowl in the bag. like
Right now, the 49ers aren't even on the list. I guess they're just Trey Lance committed. Well, I mean, this is betting on, it's all speculation. Broncos are the most favored team, then Steelers. I don't think it's gonna happen because what are they gonna trade realistically? I mean, they don't have any like really young pieces other than like I don't know, Juju.
where are the Colts on there? Because I saw that Pat McAfee thing. that
None.
him and Pat McAfee are good friends.
None.
I don't think this is accurate. I mean, you have like it says like the Jets higher than like I mean
He's not
it
one of the Jets.
it changes on every list. So this is all trades, so he could technically end up anywhere. But
What about
like-
what do y'all think about the Kyler thing?
Kyler thing is interesting, but I don't think it means much.
Weird. Yeah, I mean, I don't know where he's coming from because obviously, like, that game was definitely his. I don't know. I think a lot of it was his fault. And so
You think?
it's like,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why he's saying like scapegoat. I mean, he played bad.
he played really
For
bad.
sure,
But
kind of choked, but like I don't think they had a chance anyway.
Yeah, they didn't.
I think people are overreacting too because everyone's been saying like we need to try and find a new like Kyler played really good for when
Yeah,
he
I
was
mean,
there.
it's his first
Kyler,
playoff performance or appearance, and he's
Mhm.
playing the team that's in the Super Bowl now. I mean, best
Yeah.
defense in the league, basically. Obviously, he's going to do bad.
and he
It's-
just kind of wasn't the same after he hurt his calf.
Yeah.
Kind of came back and seemed like he was in his head. But another thing is like it's been 2 years in a row where Kyler started the year off as an MVP candidate and then just kind of teetered off.
Yeah.
That does kind of make you wonder either if it's him choking mid-year or if it's teams figuring the Cardinals offense out and then Cliff Kingsbury not really adjusting because he also there was kind of a debate if it was Kyler not throwing the ball down deep or like Kingsbury not calling enough deep shots.
I think it's
But I
combination of
don't-
both.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the Cardinals receiving talent is very underwhelming to me.
Yeah, that
And I
too.
think it's very hard for him to just like be a very consistent passer with that like inconsistent, like especially with D Hop was out for a while, and I don't like their leading tight end was literally Zach Ertz for a while, like, and
Yeah.
he's like
Yeah.
obviously clearly
Yeah, they
pretty
need more
washed.
players, and also like Rondell Moore was hurt for a while, right?
Yeah, I think he was.
Yeah, and D Hop wasn't in the playoffs game, so like they
Mhm.
just didn't have a shot that game. Like
That's really
He
it's
is,
just it's super hard, and the pass rush of the Rams, and it's like I mean, he still clearly could have played better. There's no arguing that he
coulda.
could have played better. And underhand pick six, like yeah,
That
we
was
get-
bad. That was
but
yeah,
as
it's-
a Cowboys fan, my fingers are crossed for a Dak Kyler trade because that just there couldn't be anything more fun to watch.
oh my
than
gosh,
Kyler playing.
speaking of NFL awards and Dak Prescott, can we talk about how comeback play of the year, Nick Bosa got 0 votes. I get Joe Burrow winning, but Nick Bosa 0 votes and Dak Prescott got 1. Like Nick Bosa led the league in tackles for loss. He led in quarterback hits. He was 4th in sacks, and somehow Dak Prescott gets
And he was like
more votes.
the surefire reason why the 49ers led the league in pressures. Like
Yeah, like
he
it was.
carried that team. That kid, Nick Bosa is ridiculous.
Yeah, like he tore his ACL too. Like I don't, and then but then like just like Joe Burrow did. There's points of the season where if this like ending of the season didn't happen the way it did, I think he wins it over Joe Burrow, or he should win it over Joe Burrow.
yeah.
I mean, it's probably just always gonna go to a quarterback if it's close.
Yeah, the NFL awards voters are just like they don't think any other positions exist.
But Derwin James got it over him.
That was
who
weird.
who has heard like Derwin James? Like
I
I
haven't heard anything about
you haven't
Derwin
heard his
James.
name this year at all.
I think the only reason
Derwin
Derwin James got of like more votes is because he's been out for 2 years and it's like more
Yeah.
gruesome of an injury, and that is kind of a factor in it. That it's like the severity of the injury.
What they came back from, like that's why.
Yeah. Alex Smith got it last year.
Yeah, Alex Smith, which
Yeah,
that
'cause
was
he-
definitely
Yeah, because he
deserved.
almost
That was
died. So
crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
he almost
but-
died. Was told he couldn't walk again and things like that. And
yeah, but I still think Nick Bosa at least got snubbed of votes.
I think
Let
people just
alone the
kind of
award.
forgot that Nick Bosa was like hurt.
last year, maybe.
Yeah.
I wasn't that aware of it. Like I remember him being hurt, but like I wasn't thinking about it at all
Yeah.
this year. Like
I'm definitely the
Derwin
most biased source because
Yeah,
with like Derwin James, I'm like, oh yeah, that guy's been hurt for a while. Dak, everyone knows about Dak snapping his leg on live TV, and
yeah,
yeah, and how it just I guess Dak is such like a monumental force to the Cowboys, and we saw that last year. That like that's
Yeah.
why people saw like the Cowboys were able to win so many games during the season with him back.
yeah. And the 49ers were like kind of in contention for the playoffs for a while.
Yeah, for a little bit last year.
yeah,
So I don't know. I would love to hear Nick Bosa's comments after getting some of the votes to Dak Prescott.
it's probably
Yeah, I saw him
because of,
repost
like,
something about it.
just like the 49ers aren't as in as bad of a spot without Nick Bosa as Cowboys.
Yeah,
are.
but it's comeback player of the year. It's not like comeback most valuable player of the
Yeah.
year. It's not like
It's-
I get it, but still.
That's yeah. I mean, these awards are basically just like opinions. Like
Hmm.
Yeah,
Definitely.
so.
I think all the other awards pretty much made sense to me, though. I mean, I don't think any of the other ones were very.
yeah.
arguable.
No surprises. I mean, they were all basically easily predictable. Even comeback player of the year is kind of predictable. I didn't think Nick Bosa would get 0 votes, but with Joe
Yeah, I can
Burrow
see
getting
Joe
so much hype lately,
Yeah.
it's crazy. I've
Right.
actually never seen like. I mean, you have like random people in the street who never watch football being like, Joe Shiesty, Joe Burrow.
Dude, Joe Burrow is like a beautiful man.
Yeah,
Like,
I get it. He's a people's guy. I mean, he's
he's gonna be the next Tom Brady.
yeah, he's
Kind of funny because last year people were like saying like people weren't even sure if Joe Burrow was gonna be good at all. Like everyone.
Yeah,
thought
I
he
was. I thought he was
Yeah,
like,
like-
I was like, he might not be getting good. I mean,
I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like it's hard to say he was great. Like his team is ridiculously talented. Like
Yeah. It's
well, yeah, but that's the thing. I would say, I've always loved Joe Burrow from LSU. I'm not like a big, but
Mhm.
from LSU, being a fan of that team, like, I was always a big fan of his talent, but I thought, like trying to take this awful Bengals franchise, like no deal, like no line, and they didn't have much weapons at that time either. Joe Mixon's
Mhm.
battling injury.
Yeah, and
they
they-
just drafted T. Higgins, and then a bad defense and Zach Taylor's a coach. I was like, dude, I don't think he's gonna be good. And then he tore his ACL too. I'm like, he's not gonna
Yeah.
succeed. And it's
This
nothing
big-
about him. It's just,
This Bengals
Yeah.
team is just an anomaly.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
but
weird.
I think the hype is a little too crazy around Joe Burrow right
Yeah,
now,
for
though,
sure.
because like he's not better than. I don't think he's better than Justin Herbert. I don't think he's.
Oh,
No
like there's like,
shot.
nowhere close to as good as Justin Herbert,
and
or
people
at
are
least
kind of
like talent wise. But there's also like that factor of like the Tom Brady factor of kind of controlling a game.
Yeah, but
I
even
guess,
then,
yeah.
I don't even
They
think Joe
don't.
Burrow is like amazing, like particularly good at that. That's the thing.
No, I think it just has happened that he's
Yeah,
been-
exactly. He's just, but I feel like it's honestly just his team's so talented.
Yeah,
Like I was watching some of like watching that game. You weren't looking at that and being like, "Whoa, Joe Burrow is leading this team
yeah.
like back to a comeback."
It's like the team is playing.
People didn't
crazy.
start hyping him up like Joe Burrow led his team till after the game was over, which is
Mhm.
but like during the game, like you're watching, it, you're not being like, "Oh, Joe Burrow is leading this team." You're just being like, "Oh, this team is playing all around good."
So like Joe Burrow's mounting the comeback. It's like
Yeah, it's just like
it's like
quarterback.
they're on both sides of the ball. They're playing
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, it was mainly the defense, which is
Mhm.
weird. But yeah, I don't know. He has got a lot overrated. Like he's still like borderline top 10. People are saying he's top 5, top 6. He's like around Matthew Stafford rank, probably. They're like pretty comparable in skill.
Yeah, I don't even know who I give the edge to be honest right now.
Matthew
like quarterback
Stafford
wise.
just is such a question mark though for me. Like
Yeah, I've always been a little under on Matthew Stafford, but at this point,
It's hard to say he's not like
Yeah, good,
but,
yeah.
Like, he has so many just terrible throws each game,
yeah, bad
Like-
reads.
bad misses or bad reads, but like he makes plays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's got a hell of an arm, hell of a talent. But yeah,
He
I feel like if you sub Joe Burrow and Matthew Stafford out like for each other, like on the teams, I don't
Be
think
pretty
the
similar.
records. Yeah, I don't think the records change like that much, if any change.
Yeah, that's a good take.
So I don't know. Joe Burrow's definitely got a lot more hype. It's weird.
But the
But
idea is it's his second season, so like I mean,
yeah, it's really cool. It's really promising. That's a
Hot
best
take
part.
though. At this like end of the season, I would take Joe Burrow or Matthew Stafford over Dak Prescott for sure. Like
yeah,
I
I
would
think
too.
I think definitely with how
going
they've been playing right
forward,
now.
he played terrible. Like I think I would reevaluate Dak's
I think
spot.
people have been too high on Dak for a while. Now,
Yeah,
to
no,
be
Dak
honest.
has definitely got. He's just a nice guy, and Cowboys fans are a little obsessive. But
I mean, he's a good franchise quarterback for them.
Yeah,
I don't
he
think he's
is.
a bad one.
Dak is
Yeah.
a good quarterback, but like he can't afford to have like the bad games that he's having. Like he's not the Justin Herbert talent that like makes those
Yeah,
jaw-dropping plays. Like he's got to play consistently, or he's not a good quarterback.
and I'm surprised. I'm surprised if Mike McCarthy doesn't get fired this year. To be honest,
I don't know how he hasn't.
Also, what do y'all predict the like Bengals? How do y'all predict Bengals playing next year?
I think
I-
they're gonna maybe fall off a little bit, but not.
I
I
could
think
see it
they're gonna
fall
make
off,
the
yeah.
playoffs.
Like you want to say they're gonna get better because it's a young team and a new coach, but one, I don't like Zach Taylor, and it's just like if they lose, I feel like that's gonna get in their head.
Yeah, they got a lot of fight in them. That's the thing. I can pick. I wouldn't pick them to lose any game. Like guarantee them to lose any game.
Yeah.
And so I
Yeah.
think if they can just at least, I think they're gonna be a team for a while that's gonna like get in the playoffs, and you're gonna be really fearful of them making a run. Like they're
I
gonna.
could see them turning them to like a lower level Chiefs kind of.
Yeah.
Or
like-
you always expect them to do really good. They're not always like they're always in the running.
Yeah. Them and the 49ers are just gonna make runs for a while. Where there's every year it's like this team could go for a
Yeah,
while.
49ers have like best middle linebacker in the league. One of like a top 5 edge rusher, maybe even higher than that. And then you got, I think, the best tight end. Like
Yeah.
top
possibly.
2. And
Yeah,
then like
receiver crazy
Deebo
receiver running
Samuels.
back talent.
got to be up there. Yeah, like just as one of the best players.
Probably top 7,
Yeah,
top 6
So much
receivers.
talent. And
Yeah.
Ayuk had like 100 receiving yards. I think in the last 2 games, like
Yeah, I think potential talent. He's like one of the best in the leagues for.
they got
Yeah.
a lot of guys. They just need
know.
like one more piece, one real like strong piece in the secondary.
Quarterback.
And some
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Also a cornerback would be a cornerback.
Corner and
Cornerback.
corner.
Yeah.
But that's like 2 years out, honestly, for them. If like unless they get lucky with a, I
Yeah, I
haven't
think
looked too much into this draft class, but like they can get a quarterback this year.
trade up for Sauce. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. I wouldn't trade up for Sauce Gardner, but if they could get a Sauce Gardner, that'd be nice.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's really all that we should cover for today. Kind of keep it like, keep it about an hour. And I don't know. We're gonna have another podcast episode really soon after breaking down after Super Bowl, and then we kind of get into things like draft and talking about that.
Cheers.
So I think, yeah, thank you guys so much for listening in today. I think that's pretty much it. See you all in the next one.
Goodbye.